Happy Friday, everyone, and happy Mean Girls Day. It is October 3rd, and I am Cinephile Mike here with Day 60 of Oscar Rewind, my bi-weekly series of video commentary that reflect the work of this past year's Oscar nominees and winners. I dig deep into those IMDb profiles, and my hope is that you will discover a new, older favorite, or maybe revisit something that you haven't seen in a while. As always, I'll be discussing the Oscar connection, awards history for the film, box office information, and as always, these reviews are spoiler-free. Now, before we jump in, do me a favor, click that subscribe button, because you definitely want to be a part of all the cinematic goodness here on the channel. So, it is October. New month, new theme. And believe it or not, this is our penultimate month of Oscar Rewind. So only one more month after this, the new award season is coming upon us. And I thought for this second to last month, hey, let's look at music. All of the films that I am looking at this month feature nominees from either the Best Original Score or Best Original Song categories. You know, music is one of those things that may or may not stay with you after a film, and yet somehow there is a little bit of an impact, even if it doesn't stick too long. So to dive in, we are gonna face off. Yes, jumping off Music Month, I am looking at Paramount Pictures' Face Off. Written by Mike Werb and Michael Colleary and directed by action maestro John Woo, this film was a summer blockbuster release in 1997. By the end of its run on its reported $80 million budget, it was a success, making all of that back and more domestically alone and almost doubling it internationally. Following a small re-release in 2022, the film as of today currently sits with a worldwide take of $245,676,146, with $112,276,146 domestically, and the remaining $133,400,000 internationally. Critically, the film was well received, sitting with a 93% critical rating from 98 reviews and over 250,000 audience reviews, giving it an 82% popcorn meter. Now, award season-wise, Face Off ended its season with an Oscar nod for Best Sound Effects Editing. Other quick fun highlights, as this was back in the 90s when summer blockbusters were a major event. At the Blockbuster Entertainment Awards, Blockbuster, Nicolas Cage won Favorite Actor in an Action or Adventure Movie, which he shared with his performance in the equally good Con Air. There was a nod for John Travolta for Favorite Actor in an Action or Adventure Movie, and their co-stars Alessandro Nivola and Joan Allen were nominated in the Supporting Actor and Actress categories for Action or Adventure movies. Cage and Travolta won the MTV Movie Award for Best On-Screen Duo, as well as a win for Best Action Sequence, and 4 other nods where both were nominated for Best Villain in their joint performance, and then they received separate nods for Best Male Performance. And also, it was a Best Movie nominee. And again, as for why it's here within the realm of music, well, that tense, pulsing action score comes to us from composer John Powell. This past year, Powell received his second career Oscar nomination, sharing that nod with Stephen Schwartz for Best Original Score for Wicked. Chances are he may be up again because he did score Wicked for good. His first nomination was for original score as well for the 2011 film How to Train Your Dragon. But before he was an Oscar nominee, Face Off actually marked his first feature film as a composer. So let's talk about it. Face Off is about the ongoing rivalry between FBI agent Sean Archer, played by John Travolta, and terrorist for hire Castor Troy, played by Nicolas Cage. Now, in an attempted assassination, Castor sets out to kill Sean, but the bullet only injures him. However, it kills Sean's young son, Michael. 6 years later, Sean has doggedly tried to get Castor, and now he has his chance. Castor, working in collaboration with his brother Pollux, played by Alessandro Nivola. I have to say, I like the name choices here for the brothers. They have set a dangerous bomb somewhere in Los Angeles that will detonate in 6 days. Sean and the FBI pursue them and are able to capture Pollux, but before they can get the information, Castor is supposedly killed, and Pollux won't reveal what's going on with this bomb. However, we learn that the FBI has actually kept Castor alive and in a coma. They believe they can extract the information from Pollux, but only if Sean undergoes an experimental surgery to become Castor by literally transferring Castor's face to Sean's. Face off. Sean is the only one who knows how Castor worked, and he is the best one to go undercover to get information from Pollux. Agreeing, begrudgingly, the surgery is performed, and Sean, now Castor, gets placed in prison with Pollux. While trying to get the information, the actual Castor wakes up from his coma, and through a series of events has his henchmen capture the doctor who performed the first procedure and transfers Sean's face to him. I won't get into all of the details so as to spoil the intricacies. However, let's say that Castor, as Sean, will embed himself into the FBI and Sean's family and disarm his own bomb to become the hero, which will then leave Sean as Castor in prison, but we can't have the movie end there. So he will break out of prison and try to reclaim his life and get revenge. And what will follow is an action-packed thrill ride as we see our supporting cast, played by the likes of Joan Allen, Gina Gershon, CCH Pounder, Margaret Cho, Thomas Jane, and James Denton, become embroiled in this battle, or, pun intended, face off between good and evil. Okay, that's my last one. All right, so look, the plot is very out there, but there was a lot of fun about its absolute absurdity. I mean, we've seen the undercover spy films before in The Mask Work, James Bond, Mission Impossible. There's something clever with this one. And it's interesting because Woo's follow-up to this, save a TV movie, he went from Face Off, his next feature film was Mission Impossible 2, which involved a lot of this kind of mask wearing and fake out. Having seen Face Off for the first time for this episode, and I'm kind of surprised I hadn't watched this, I don't know why, I really start to see a lot of those John Woo tropes. 2 guns per character, slow motion shootouts, slow flying white doves to create this dramatic effect, and larger than life explosions, including a really fun showdown on open water via speedboats, which makes the similar sequence in Speed 2, which, believe it or not, those 2 films, Speed 2 and Face Off, came out 2 weeks apart. Speed 2 came out a little bit before, and where that one tanked, sorry, Sandy Bullock, Face Off is much superior to that film, and also in those action sequences. Cage and Travolta are a lot of fun here. Cage was in the midst of that 90s action phase, Face Off, Con Air, The Rock, Snake Eyes. Travolta was riding high. This is a couple years after Pulp Fiction and a string of, dramas and comedies, which also included Woo's Broken Arrow, which came out a year before Face Off. Both of them are known for these larger-than-life characters and kind of dialing it up to 11, so they're both equally matched. Part of me almost wonders what would have happened if we had reversed this, with Travolta originally being played as the anarchist and Cage as the FBI agent. Might have been just as interesting. And let's not miss this opportunity to talk about the supporting players. Joan Allen has some nice moments to shine as Sean's wife Eve, trying to hold her family together. Gina Gershon plays Sasha, a woman from Castor's past with a secret, who has some opportunity to show off some some action chops as well, which was nice to see. I would definitely not want to go up against Gina Gershon in a shootout. And Alessandro Nivola was chuckle-inducing as the nerdy brother. A different step from some of the more confident alpha male roles I have seen him play, especially recently, so, nice work. Slight gear shift, as I said, Woo delivers his usual action-packed sequences, which are expertly captured by cinematographer Oliver Wood, who's also known for excellent work in the Bourne franchise. We really feel the action, and this film has all those fun 90s action film tropes stamped all over it. It really made me nostalgic for the 90s action films watching this, but I digress. Let me talk a minute about John Powell, the reason we are here. He really creates some fun, fast-paced tunes as we go about each action tentpole, and is really able to build some nice suspense, especially when we are treated to the slightly cringe-inducing face transplant sequence, which looks like something out of a 1970s campy horror flick. Kudos to the special makeup effects artist, Kevin Yeager. You creep me out. Look, at the end of the day, Face Off is an enjoyable 4-star film with solid, committed performances that match the tone of the project. Everyone knew exactly what they signed on for, and it might just want to send you down a rabbit hole of other 90s action films. I know it did for me. If you haven't seen Face Off or it's been a minute, you can currently find the film streaming on Paramount Plus. So, it's a good start for Music Month. We have some fun ones coming up. As always, if you like what you heard here, please click that button, subscribe to the channel, like and share the video, spread the word. You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms and on Letterboxd, and find lots of great additional cinematic goodness on my website, cinephilemike.com. All right, happy watching, everyone, and until next time, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.